Oshkosh Striker. The Oshkosh Striker is built for airport disasters where every second matters and a burning aircraft demands overwhelming force in moments. Manufactured in Wisconsin, this cross truck carries thousands of gallons of water and foam, feeding a roof-mounted turret that can throw fire suppressant from a safe distance. Its all-wheel drive chassis lets it move across open runways instead of following roads, reaching a burning fuselage before flames spread through the cabin. Airports around the world rely on this vehicle because commercial aviation fires unfold with a violence that ordinary engines were never designed to handle. Rosenbauer Panther. The Rosenbauer Panther comes from Austria and shares the same mission as the Striker, though European and Middle Eastern airports often favor its design. Underneath the cab sits a turbocharged engine strong enough to launch the truck from a standstill to 60 miles an hour in under 25 seconds, a speed rarely seen in a vehicle this heavy. Foam and dry chemical systems work together on board, since jet fuel fires resist water alone and need a chemical blanket to smother the flame. Large hub airports in Asia and the Gulf region often keep several Panthers on standby, positioned to reach any runway within a set response window. FDNY Super Pumper System. The FDNY Super Pumper System was assembled in the 1960s after New York City faced a string of fires too large for standard hydrant pressure to handle. Rather than a single vehicle, it operated as a convoy, a massive pumping unit paired with hose tenders that could deliver water at a rate no ordinary engine could match, drawing directly from rivers when hydrants ran dry. High-rise fires and waterfront warehouse blazes were the reason it existed, since both situations could overwhelm the normal water supply within minutes. Though retired decades ago, its influence still shapes how modern departments think about pumping capacity for citywide emergencies. Type 3 Wildland engine. A Type 3 Wildland engine trades size for mobility, built narrow and high off the ground so it can climb dirt roads and uneven terrain that a city truck would never survive. Forestry services and rural fire departments in fire-prone regions such as California and Australia depend on this design because wildfires often ignite far from paved access points. A smaller water tank keeps weight down, while a pump strong enough to draw from streams or portable tanks lets crews refill without returning to town. Its role becomes critical during mega wildfires, when dozens of these engines work in coordinated lines to hold a fire break before it jumps toward homes. Water tender. A water tender exists to solve one simple problem. Many disaster zones have no working hydrants nearby. These tanker trucks haul thousands of gallons across long distances, shuttling between a water source and the fire line in a continuous loop during rural or wildland incidents. Some carry over 4,000 gallons, dwarfing the tank size of a standard engine, and their chassis is often reinforced to handle rough, unpaved roads. Mega disasters in remote areas where infrastructure has failed or never existed depend heavily on a steady convoy of these tenders to keep suppression efforts from running dry. Tiller aerial ladder truck. A tiller aerial ladder truck is easy to recognize by its two separate steering wheels, one in front and one at the rear, allowing a second driver to guide the trailing axle through tight city streets. This unusual design lets an extremely long ladder, sometimes reaching over 100 feet, navigate corners that a rigid truck could never manage. High-rise fires in dense downtown cores are where this vehicle proves its worth, since ladder trucks of ordinary length simply cannot get close enough to upper floors. San Francisco and other cities with narrow, hilly streets have long favored tillers for exactly this reason. Foam tender. A foam tender is built for industrial and refinery disasters where burning fuel or chemical storage tanks cannot be extinguished with water alone. Its tank holds concentrated foam agent rather than plain water, mixed on demand and pumped through large diameter hoses or fixed monitors aimed at storage tanks from a protective distance. Hazmat response unit. A hazmat response unit steps in when the danger extends beyond flame into chemical spills, gas leaks, or radiological contamination. Inside, it carries detection equipment, protective suits, and containment tools rather than the pumps and hoses found on a standard engine, since its job often begins after the fire itself is under control. Chemical plant accidents and transportation disasters involving tanker trucks or rail cars are common reasons these units get called out. Larger cities and industrial corridors keep specially trained crews attached to these vehicles because handling an unknown substance safely requires knowledge that general firefighting training does not fully cover. Oshkosh P-19R Aircraft Rescue Vehicle. The Oshkosh P-19R serves the United States Navy and Marine Corps, engineered to operate aboard an aircraft carrier deck as much as on land. Its dimensions were built around shipboard elevators and hangar bays, shaping nearly every panel and angle of the vehicle. Saltwater exposure, extreme heat, and Arctic cold all factor into its construction, since Navy and Marine units deploy across wildly different climates within a single mission cycle. Expeditionary airfields, forward operating bases rely on this vehicle just as much as carriers do, making it one of the few crash trucks designed for both sea and austere land conditions.